This is the LEGO Ideas The Nightmare Before Christmas set based on Tim Burton's 1993 clay motion animated film that's been fully adapted into this iconic playset. And boy, are there a lot of details to cover because I actually had the chance to interview the fan designer Simon Scott himself and two of the LEGO designers that worked on bringing this iconic set to life. But before we get into that, I'd like to say thank you to the LEGO Ambassador Network for sending this set early for review. Otherwise, it will come out on September 1st for the price tag of $200. While that may seem steep based on the approximate size of the model on the box, it does consist of nearly 2,200 pieces, so the price per piece is pretty fair. But if I'm being totally honest with you, if it weren't for the land sending me this set, I would probably never own it, and that's for two reasons. First of all, I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween, and second of all, I had never even seen Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas until I received this set. So I did what was necessary, and I ended up watching the movie twice through while building this set because those darn songs are so freaking catchy. Inside the box, you'll find 16 numbered bags, 3 instruction booklets, and this sticker sheet. There's also 2 fabric pieces and a card foil moon piece. I had no idea this was going to be a piece since the original model didn't have one, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. The first 6 bags are the town hall and the iconic acid fountain that Jack plunges himself into in the beginning of the movie. They accomplished a nice gargoyle statue and a funky shape on the fountain, which brings up our first point. There are no 90-degree angles or right angles in the entire movie, which made designing this with basically a square Lego brick extremely challenging. So keep an eye out for all the variations and shapes. As you'll see, even the door to the town hall is completely skewed. The pillars are at an angle, the walls are tilted. This is actually a fabric banner, and these are stickers that showcase the countdown to Christmas and this clock. And right about now, I'd love to insert a song, but copyright issues. You'll find some details under the building like this starving skeleton and a Christmas wreath. And in the attic, you'll also find more items for the upcoming holiday, which brings up another point. This is The Nightmare Before Christmas, and the timing of its release couldn't be more perfect to bridge both major holidays of Halloween and Christmas. Inside the town hall, there are some gargoyle stickers, these whip torches, and this podium that you can bring outside as an added play feature. I love how smooth the roof is on the building, as if this were a mock, and since these aren't connected, they can be knocked off pretty easily, so just note that. Outside, there's some plants and a pumpkin, and this black tree, which is sort of a nod to the original fan design that didn't make it through to production due to the Office set taking its place. But that was the third time that the Office was submitted to LEGO Ideas, so the fan designer Simon tried again with this set, and a little over 2 years later, here we are in its final form. The next 6 bags are for Jack's house, which probably has the most variation from the original fan design due to stability and the piece count. The gate here is framed with 2 curved walls packed with detail and 2 spindly cats that use a bucket handle for their ears. The stairs are all wonky, and that eyeball that you see on the door is a sticker, and it's the same door from Dungeons & Dragons, but it also works really well here. Inside, there's a Christmas tree and a sack of cursed presents, and upstairs, Jack has some desks where he's hard at work trying to figure out Christmas. There's a portrait of his Sandy Claus outfit, and this chalkboard references Cy for Simon and his date of birth, which is such an awesome Easter egg for the set, paying homage to the original fan designer himself. My favorite part of this set, though, is the roof and the way that it clasps together like monster claws, which is kind of a subtle but intentional technique. All of the ins and outs of the walls are achieved with these hinges and clasps that connect to the inside of the build. And furthermore, the chimney and even the trees are all crooked by using these bar plates, which I love the look of. It also reminds me a little bit of Harry Potter, specifically Diagon Alley. The final 3 bags contain the iconic spiral hill and graveyard, and I think this is such a fabulous representation within a reasonable amount of space. The graveyard is of course packed with tombstones. You've got Henbane, the deadly nightshade that Sally picks, Witch Hazel, and of course Ghost Dog Zero's little doghouse. The hill is absolutely gorgeous and strong enough to not only place 2 figures on top of it, but this is the card foil moon on the back that's held together with one of these single gray ball pins. This material was introduced in the Polaroid camera, and they brought it back for this set to capture the iconic look of this scene, knowing that a brick-built moon would be far too heavy and unstable to display well. Plus, this does give you the option of displaying it without the moon for some reason if you wanted to do that. There are tons of little details like the grinning pumpkins that were about to retire but were used on this set, but some of the coolest features actually have to do with the minifigures. So let's address the missing bag of bugs. Oogie Boogie is not in this set. And a lot of people were distressed about this, and when I asked the designers, Caesar and Jordan, they made a great point. He's not actually in the scene with the town hall and Jack's house. So they encouraged fans to build their own Oogie Boogie and add on to Halloween Town. They also contemplated adding the doctor, but instead went with the mayor. Keep in mind that the Ideas design team not only had to work with Disney, but also Tim Burton's company to get approval for designs and character usage. So those were the limitations for the chosen figures. The mayor is brick built, but has these decorated elements, and that's partially due to it being a figure that will be handled a lot, but also because it's a cone shape, and a sticker would not be applied well and thus have quality issues. He does have the alternate face print on the back, which is awesome, and he has his plans for next Halloween. The Santa minifigure may look like a reused figure, but upon closer examination, you can see his candy corn stuck to his torso and a lollipop tucked away in his belt. There's also a decorated trim at the bottom of his skirt. So while he's not all ballooned out like in the movie, we do get a unique Santa figure here. Next up, we do have Boogie's kids, Lock, Shock, and Barrel, and they have monochrome torsos and legs with white heads, both with alternate face prints. Lock is the leader and is completely red with a sort of maroon hairpiece, and here are his two alternate face prints. Shock is sort of a pun off of stock for Lock, Stock, and Barrel, meaning, I guess, everything, and here's her alternate face print. She's fully lavender, and she has one of those witch hair pieces that's combined with the hat, and a purple skirt piece and short legs. And then we have my favorite Barrel using that green Joker hair, and he has the skeleton ribs printed onto the torso. Here's his alternate face print. But the trio wouldn't be complete without their walking clawfoot tub, which is a very beautifully designed small little feature that I'm glad was included. There are only studs in the front, but you can technically fit all three kids in it. It's just that with the skirt piece on Shock, she kind of floats. And now on to the heavy hitters. Zero, a brand new mold with that anti-set on the bottom in red, flowy ghost body, and a pumpkin on his nose. This new mold seriously carries the figure lineup, and I think a lot of people are going to be after this little doggo. And now we have Sally, and while she may look similar to the CMF Sally from several years ago, there are some small differences as those molds aren't available anymore. So technically her hair is a new piece, for example. Here's her alternate face print. Her arms are dual molded and her legs are not, but they are really nicely printed. Then we have the Pumpkin King himself, Jack Skellington, using the long legs thanks to Avatar that are recolored, and he includes his fabric waist cape. Wish we could get those in Star Wars more. He's got that matching torso, terrifying face print, and also a technically new back collar, as again, it's a new mold with subtle differences from the old one. I think it's worth noting that the CMF Jack and Sally were major factors in Simon's journey to creating Halloween Town in LEGO, and if not for those figures and the determination to try again, we wouldn't have this set today. Now, my criticisms are somewhat biased, and the cons of this set pretty much come down to value. I'm not a huge Halloween fan, so this stuff scares me a little bit, but I would have liked to have seen some glow-in-the-dark elements, and while it is a lot of pieces, many of them are very small, making the overall display a teensy bit on the small side for the price point. I do love that you can display these either together or apart, and I think there may even be a place for these in a LEGO Christmas Village display to sort of juxtapose the two towns. But I think it really comes down to nostalgia, and people who love this movie are going to love this set. I'm not sure if we'll ever see a remake or an add-on, as this, like many other Ideas sets, is pretty much a one-off and highly collectible, so I don't see the complaints or lack of Oogie Boogie as a big enough reason to not buy the set. That being said, I don't think I'm quite the target audience for this set, as I'm not a huge fan of Halloween and I had never seen the movie before. But after watching it, I really enjoyed the movie, I loved the songs, and it definitely made me appreciate the details in the set a lot more. I also know somebody who would like to display this for Halloween, so that's a perfect fit. But be sure to let me know if this is one that you're planning to pick up. Let me know your favorite song from the movie. Make sure to leave a like on the video and stay tuned for my other reviews like this one.